All right, so now what we're going to do is going to add the subpages for our three initial designs, right? And we'll actually add another section as well on the landing page in preparation for your revised design, right? So we have our folder, right? This is our root folder, same thing we were working on last time. Go ahead and open a new window, drag it right in there. Make the size a little bit, okay. All right. And there's our index file, and you should have go live, or yeah, go live, right? Is that what it's called? Live server. That says go live down here. Installed. So right-clicking, right, or option or control click, you can open with live server, and there we go. All right, and it opens right up. Okay, so our next step is I want to add a subsection, right? And let's just take a look at an example, right, of where we're headed. All right, so all right, this is the new one I'm creating, but this is an earlier one. Okay, so I'm making an HTML file, right? I'm going to have a home link and a version 1, version 2, version 3. I've got my graphic here, and I want to be able to click, and you'll see the color change. The design doesn't change, it's just a color as a demonstration. But I can click through the 3, and I can click back to the home, and right, this is version 3, version 2, go back to home, version 2 will be purple, right? Okay, so these all link up to 3 individual HTML pages. And each of those pages has a link to the other 2 pages, as well as a link back to the home page. All right, so I'll take that out. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, I'm just going to go ahead and close this. I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call this folder Theater. And this will be the name of the project, right? So this is my theater project. I'm going to open up that folder, and in here, I'm going to create, once I got it selected, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to give it today's date, right? So today is 26/21, is that what today is? Hyphens, yes, 1/26/21, okay. All right, now with that selected, I'm now going to add version 01.html. Right, and if we check in our folder, right, you'll see what we've got. We've got a theater directory right here, and then in it, right, we have the 126/21 directory, and then we have version 1 HTML inside. And you can see it's slightly different, right? Rather than giving us the multiple folders, it's giving us theater, and then it gives us this slash, and then the directory name to let us know that that folder exists, right? If I was to create, let's just duplicate the folder, right? It'll show up there, but I drag it into the theater, right? And now the second folder shows up because there's a file in theater and a folder in theater. But if that file doesn't exist, oops, back to it'll just change its display. So just, some UI stuff to keep your eye on, if things look a little off. All right, so that's what we're working with. And the reason I'm doing this is so that each set of files that relate to a specific date, I can put them all in one folder. And it'll be much easier for me to keep track of, and it will also give me a URL that I can remember, right? So I know once I'm on the index file, if I type theater /012621, right, I can get to those folders. I'll need the file name, but I have a general sense on how the site is going to go together. Okay, so let's go back. We'll go to 1, right? And remember our exclamation point. Hit the return key, right? There we are. And now I'm going to give the thing a title. Studio Theater website version 1. Okay. Let's try and spell theater right. Theater, right? Is that right? Okay. All right, save that. Okay. All right, so we've got version 1. Now, right, I can now come back and kind of deal with this number sign, right? This is just a placeholder for design mockup 1. Right? When I click on it, nothing happens, right? It's just hidden that number sign. And the number sign is traditional when you don't know what your link is going to be. It's just a placeholder. So you can see the link, you know it's a link, it's just not going anywhere yet. Okay. So what we want to do is now we need to, right, create a link that will get us to version 01. So what we're doing is we're going to go into the theater directory, then we're going to go into this date, and then we're going to get to this file. So let's go ahead. Right? As soon as I type the T, it recognizes that there's a theater directory. So I'm going to click on that. Then it recognizes that there's another folder. I'm going to click on that. And then it sees that there's version 01. I click on that. And then I'm just going to have it save that. Okay, so there's my path. Right? Theater, I'm in the index file. My link says, okay, find the theater directory. Got it. Go in there. Got it. Look for this date. Got it. Go into that folder, got it, and then get the HTML file. Right, there we go. So that's our path. And this will be important, right? Whenever we have files that are down here in subdirectory, we always have to be able to use this link to get to the right path. This link is called a relative link. Right? It only works when it's in this folder, in this shell account folder, right? Because it doesn't have now. Relative links are different than absolute links, right? An absolute link would be like, if we go to Google, and I copy that link, and I'm just going to put this in as a placeholder. All right, so you see the difference, right? This link, https://www.google.com, is going to a specific website, right? And that will never change, no matter where that is. If you click this link, it will get there, right? This is not going to a specific file on the internet yet. It's only going to a file in our folder. When we copy it, or when we copy that folder and all those files up to our shell account, then there's going to be, right, we're going to get that new Paltz, blah, 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 blah. Will already be there, and then it'll find our folder, tilde, C Andriola, / and then it'll run its thing, work its way all the way through. Don't worry about that. The thing to note here is relative links go to other files within the folder you're working on. Absolute links go to a specific URL or resource out on the internet. Okay, oops. All right, so we'll put our hash back there. Okay, so now, I've got my plan, right? You can kind of guess what's gonna happen. I'm gonna make 2 more of these files. So I'll update those links. I don't wanna do that just yet, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and save this. And first thing I'm gonna do is test it. So it says theater website, okay. All right, so if I go back and, right, when I roll over the link, right, if I look down in the lower left, it's gonna flash away when I try and go down there. But down here, watch down here, right, you'll see, right, that it's given us this 127.0 blah, blah. That number at the beginning indicates that we're working on a local copy, right? But then you'll see it's got our theater directory /date/version1 HTML. So that link goes there, and there I am, and I know that I'm there, right? I see the URL, right? That's my path. Here's the title of the new version 1 HTML. So my link is working. Okay, great. Okay. So now that I'm sure my link is working, I'm going to go back to the index file, and I'm going to copy this link, and I'm just going to add it to the other 2 pages, and I'm just going to change this number of 2, right, and 3. Now I haven't created those links yet, or those HTML files yet, but now I'm pretty much set, right, on my index page. Right? And if I go back, right, and there it is, version 2, check in the lower left corner again, version 3. Right, everything's all in place. Okay, great. All right, I don't think I need my index file for much anymore. All right, now I'm on to version 1. Oh, I guess, do I need it? I guess not. Okay, so my next step is I'm going to work on that top menu, okay? And we're going to start off same way we did before. Let's give ourselves a little space here. All right, I'm going to have a nav, and then inside the nav, I'm going to have just a div. Okay, and then once I'm inside that, I'm just going to make paragraph. In there, I'm going to put a link. And for right now, I'm just going to give that a number sign, and I want that to say home. Okay. Right. Let's open with live server. There it is. Here's my home link. Fabulous. Oh, looks not so great, right? So, what are we not doing yet, right? If we want that to look like something, we're going to need to add a link to our style sheet. Okay, so now where is our style sheet? Oh, there it is, style.css. Okay, so we know, all right, from last time, this is definitely not going to work, right? So I save this, right? Nothing happens to home. And it's because, right, version 1 is not at the same level as index where we had it working the first time. And even there, we had to go into the CSS folder and get stopped. So now we're in versions. Now we have to go up to this folder, then up to that folder. And then once we're up there, then we have to go in there, right, and then get to the style. So we know style.css is not going to work. How do we get and connect to our style sheet, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this. And a new syntax is ... // And what ... / means when you're linking is that it will go up one directory. All right, it doesn't matter what the name of the directory is, but that's what the 2 periods represent. So you can tell so far, right, from wherever the file is, right? So the file is down here, version 1, ... / moves up to here. Okay, so now, and you can see, right, that's what it's telling us, right? Now we don't want to go into that folder, right, because that would take us back down. But we want to go up another folder. Well, what should we do? And there we go, right? So now we've moved up 2 directories. We've moved up from the HTML file to 126.21 and to theater. And now that we're up here, then moved out of here. Now we're back at the root, right? We moved up 2 steps. And it's now can tell us that our CSS folder is available. Now if we click on that and then we click on style and we save that, right? And we'll see that home now is being applied, right? So there's been some style. It's not purple anymore. But the margin is all set to 0, right? All that stuff. Now, you know, our div still is going to need some work, right? So if we take a look at our other style sheet, or back to our original style sheet, and we look at this wrapper, right? Oh yeah, margin 0, padding left, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we should probably use that. right? So I'm going to go back to version 1, and on this div, I'm going to add a class of wrapper. Save that. Okay. And there we go. Moved it over, right? So now we've got our padding. So, okay. So we need a few more items up here, all right? And we'll get to spacing eventually, but let's get our HTML together. I just wanted to get the style sheet linked up so it didn't look totally weird while we were working. All right. So our next item is going to be those 3 links to our upcoming files, right? And I'm going to put them in a UL, right, in an unordered list. And using a list as a nav menu is a very common practice, probably the most common, because we can treat the whole thing as a unit. It's kind of held together. So with some styling, we can get it all to lay out the way we want. All right. So there's our UL, and I'm going to put in the LI. I'm going to use a little Emmet trick, right? And so if I use a multiplication symbol, and then the number 3, right? Emmet abbreviation, it's going to give me 3 LIs, and there we go. All right, and I'm going to type version 1. Spell it correctly. Okay. And then this is also going to be a link. So I'm going to start with a, I'm just going to do it out here. All right, so it will, all right, there it is. Do the hashtag and then copy it, put it here, and then I want it around the text. All right, so I put it inside. Okay, right, and there's version 1. I'm going to save that. And there it is, right? You can see it showing up. I'll move this down, right? And I've got the other LIs, so it's sort of got that place going. And let's just go ahead. Put those in place. Okay. All right. So that all looks pretty reasonable, right? We've got our file together. Okay. All right, so that's our nav, and then I just want to have another div here. And I'm going to give it the same class of wrapper because I want the spacing, like wrapped around it to be the same. So do that. All right, so now whatever I put in there is going to align the same where it is home. Right, so keep that together. Okay. All right. So I'll just go back here, and in my theater, right, in 126, I want to add a new folder. So I'm just going to say new folder, and I'm going to drag it up to 126, and I'm going to call it IMG. So now, right, I'm making just like this little subsite, right? It's going to have 3 HTML pages, and it's going to have some images. These images are my design mockups, right? So from Illustrator or Photoshop or Figma or Sketch, whatever you've worked in, I want you to export a JPEG file, right? Or a GIF file, PNG file, whatever the 3 you want. It's just a single flat file of the design. Okay, so let's find where I left mine. Those are not them. There they are. Okay. So I have 3 of them. I'm just going to drag them in here. Imagine they're all on my desktop. Okay, and there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Right? If I open up, I can see them with a little preview. Okay, so back to version 1. All right, so now I want to add, right, just an IMG, nothing fancy, right? And the source is in the IMG folder /. Once I do the /, It recognizes that there are images there. Mine happen to be GIF images. All right. I hit the tab key. Tab key will jump, to the alt for the aref so that we can type. And this is okay. I'm gonna go ahead and save that. And wow, there we are. All right. So we've got, kind of our basics are now in place, right? And clicking on home doesn't do anything. But if I went back to, right, version 1 is linked up, right? It clicks, and now here I am on the right file. Okay, so, okay. All right, so that's pretty good. Now I've got my links here. So if I wanted to link, right, just to this file, what would well, look at that, right? I typed the V. It knows that this HTML file is in the folder. I can go ahead and save that, right? And now I've got a model, right, starting to develop for all my files. I'm not going to duplicate this just yet. I want to get all the pieces working, and then once I'm sure I've got the HTML together that I need, do I need any more? That's a good question. No, just I know this is coming, so I might as well do it. And it's going to be version 2. So that version 3. Okay. Now those files don't exist yet, so those links wouldn't work, but I'm all set. Okay, and now, right, I'm on the home, so we're going to need to link this back to our root index file, right? So what do we do? All right, remember, we're back on this file. We want to go up the directories until we can find the index. So // there's our index file, and we save that. Right, and then we can check, right? And we hover over home. We see that it's actually now pointing at index.html. So let's click on and we're back. All right, there we go. Okay, great. We may have broken the connection to live server when we did that. We'll find out. If you do break the connection, not a big deal. Close the tab, right? Reopen it. Okay, so we're linked up, right? We've got all our pieces in order. I'm going to wait until I'm sure that this is styled right before I duplicate this file. But once I have all my styles in order and I like the way the page looks, then I'm going to go ahead and duplicate version 1, make 2 and 3, and then I'll have my subsite all together. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop this video here, and I'll leave the styling on the next video. Okay, great.